Assalamu alaikum. We're still on Al Imran, and we're going to do a passage about Mariam's mother. Now, Mariam's mother, we were told in Catholic school, her name was Elizabeth. And we were told that she came from a very religious family. So that when she realized that she was pregnant, as all religious women would do, and still do, she asked Allah to protect her child. We assume at this point that she was expecting her child to be a boy because in those days, having a boy to serve in the temple, if you were religious, was a wonderful thing. And in my time, you know, my grandmother had 13 children, and the oldest was my dad. And he was, of course, given over to temple service, meaning the Catholic Church. So he went to a Catholic college where he was preparing to be a missionary. And then another brother also to enter the priesthood, 2 of the boys, and actually 2 of her girls enter the convent. So these verses are particularly powerful for me when I understand that when I was born, my dad wanted to call me Mary, and my mom refused. She said, "There's too many Marys in your family. I'm going to call her Diane." And as an aside, my dad was from a strict Catholic family. My mom was from a Catholic family in name only. They didn't go to church. I never saw my mom pray. And isn't it funny that the name Diane means religious in Arabic? It comes from the root, Del Ya Nun, Diana. And that's another big story we can make on Arabic grammar and what that word means. Really, it has other meanings, but it all comes from the same essential meaning. I could go on now with the Arabic, but I won't. I want to get on to Mary's or Mariam's mother, because I know my dad wished that my mom would have had a boy. And how do I know this? It's because my mom couldn't get pregnant for 7.5 years, and there was nothing wrong with them. I mean, she was 22. My dad, when they got married, was 25. They were both in the perfect health, but Allah had not determined that she would get pregnant. So they went to adopt, and they chose a boy, and they were going to name him Stephen. And then my mom got pregnant with me, and my dad wanted to keep the boy. My mom said, "No, we won't have an adopted boy. We'll have what Allah gives us." So the story goes, from what my dad tells me, that he prayed. He prayed to the Virgin Mary, and he said, "I devote my daughter to you," if it's a girl. But I know in his heart he wanted it to be a boy. So his vow was it answered? No, I'm not devoted to Mary. I'm devoted to Allah. And as another aside, which is a little bit really weird, my dad was going to be a Maryknoll missioner. And the college he attended was specifically to raise up missionaries to Africa, to go to the heathens and bring them to the Lord Jesus Christ. Well, do you know, not only did my dad leave the seminary, his daughter, me, went to Africa. Not to the heathens, to the believers. So his wish was that he would learn well and go to Africa and teach. And I went to Africa to come back and teach, I won't say the heathens, but my fellow Americans who need some knowledge. That's all. So we have to always question, was that vow answered in another way? In Allah's way? Remember, Allah knows what's in your deepest heart. And this is what we went through on the last lesson. He knows the secrets in your heart. Maybe my dad never believed in the Trinity. Maybe my dad believed in Allah. But of course, he never heard the word Allah. He never knew about shirk. And he passed before I became a Muslim. That's a prelude to tonight's lesson because honestly, this is a really big deal for me that I'm going to speak about this verse. And I'll give you the verse and then we'll continue